Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the principles of buoyancy. Have you ever wondered, how do huge objects like ships float on water instead of sinking? What forces are in play to make a hot air balloon float in the air? Let's set sail on a journey to discover the magic of buoyancy. Buoyancy is the ability of an object to float in fluid like water or air. When an object is placed in a fluid, two main forces come into play. Gravity is the force that pulls the object down, and buoyant force is the force that pushes the object up. For an object to float, the buoyant force must be greater than or equal to the force of gravity. Archimedes' principle. When an object is immersed in a fluid, the upward force on it is equal to the weight of the fluid it displaces. Fb is equal to P times V times G is the formula. Here are two key concepts behind buoyancy: density and displacement. Density is the amount of mass in a given volume. Objects with a higher density than the fluid sink, while objects with a lower density float. When an object is placed in water, it pushes some of the water out of the way. This is called displacement. The amount of water displaced determines the buoyant force. Buoyancy is important in many scientific and engineering fields, such as designing ships and submarines and understanding the behavior of hot air balloons. How do ships float? Big, heavy ships float because of their shape and density. Their hollow, large shape spreads out their weight, allowing them to displace much water. As long as the water they displace weighs more than the ship, they stay afloat. The hot air inside the balloon is less dense than the cooler air outside in hot air balloons, so the buoyant force lifts the balloon into the sky. Here are some interesting facts about buoyancy. Fish have a special organ called a swim bladder that fills with gas, helping them control their buoyancy and float at different depths in water. Ice floats in water because it's less dense than liquid water. The Dead Sea is so salty that the water is denser than most bodies of water, allowing people to float effortlessly on the surface. Lava lamps demonstrate buoyancy. The heated lava at the bottom rises when it becomes less dense, then sinks as it cools. Let's quickly recap what we learned about buoyancy. What force pushes an object up in a fluid? Buoyant force. What determines whether an object floats or sinks in water? Density. What happens to water when an object is placed in it? Displacement. And lastly, what principle explains why objects float or sink? Archimedes' principle. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.